I'm super excited to welcome you to Britt Happens. Andre is, as we said, city councilman, father, technologist, wanderlust, and a mayoral candidate. So it's been super busy. And Andre is the city of Atlanta councilman. It's formerly member at large District 5. Or explain I see different titles from your Instagram to the website.
Yeah, so it's post 3 at large. So that's the citywide seat, Atlanta City Council post 3 at large. I'm still that until the end of December 31st, when I hopefully become mayor of Atlanta.
Yes, so Andre is, as we said, city councilman, father, technologist, wanderlust, and a mayoral candidate. So it's been super busy and exciting for him. And I was telling him just a few minutes ago, congratulations that your Hawks beat the Knicks. I think now since it's 4-1, they're out, right?
Yeah, the Knicks are out. I don't know where the Knicks are. They're not with us anymore. They got to see us next year. So the Hawks are moving on. The Hawks are going to see Philadelphia, and we're going to beat them down too. And then, we're just going to keep on going.
Okay. I went to Penn and Philly, so we'll see, even though I do love Atlanta. You're a native of Atlanta, so like diehard.
Yep, native of Atlanta, and I'm a diehard. Love Atlanta. I've traveled all over the world, and I lived on the West Coast. I lived in LA for a while. I lived in Houston for a while, and Indiana, this small town called Evansville. I lived there for a year as well. So I've lived a few other places, but had to come back home, call Atlanta home forever from there.
Okay, came back. Went to school on the West Coast, or okay?
No, I went to school in Atlanta. So I was born and raised in Atlanta, and went to college at Georgia Tech for chemical engineering. Graduated, and that's when I started kind of moving further west, Houston, Indiana, California.
Okay.
But then came back to Atlanta once I started getting back into owning my own business, and of course, ran for office.
Right. So what was the catalyst that prompted you to run for public office initially?
Yeah, so when I was 16 years old, I remember telling a friend of mine, his parents, I was saying I wanted to be mayor of Atlanta. This is when I was 16. Now, I didn't know what a city council member was. I didn't know what a county commissioner was, any of those things. I just knew that the mayor was the person that was on TV talking about what they were going to do and just making an impact. I remember one time in the grocery store, my mom, made me go around to meet the guy. And this was Atlanta's first Black mayor, which was Maynard Jackson. And then following him was Ambassador Andrew Young, who became mayor. So it was a wonderful set of examples and role models. So I wanted to be like those guys. And then so went into college and did SGA, like all good future politicians. I was the president of my fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi. I was on all these committees and boards and working in diversity, and then graduated college and started working in the, nonprofits, volunteer work. I was the neighborhood vice president, then president, and this and that. So all these various things just led to me one day running for office because I kept serving and growing in my commitment to the community. And then I just ran and I won. I beat an incumbent. He had been in office for 12 years.
Wow.
So it was the first time in a long time that the city of Atlanta had someone unroot somebody, take them out of the office. And I was blessed with that. And 8 years later, here we are.
Yes. So, right. I think that's a pattern around the country. There's been some races that people didn't expect the incumbent to be unseated, which to me is just a testament of the people wanting a change. So, yes. Right. Back in the day, it used to be, to me, like a catch-22. You don't have the experience, but how are you going to get the experience and bring in fresh blood if you don't give people an opportunity?
Right. You take experience to get experience. Somebody said, how am I supposed to have ID so I can get ID?
Right.
You got to take ID to the driver's license place. Like, wait a minute, how do I get ID to get ID?
Yeah, some stuff just makes no common sense.
So you either get the experience, on the job, or maybe, like I did a lot of nonprofit work and community work. That's kind of how I got to that point. But I had to take somebody out. They didn't want to go.
They were kicking and screaming, but like you said, here we are 8 years later. And most exciting, I'm sure, takes up the majority of your time, is you kicked off your campaign now, what, 2-3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I kicked off my campaign for mayor.
So congratulations. I felt like I was there. I saw the footage of, it was like an outside kickoff party of double tapped. I was like, all right, I'm there too, from Miami.
Yeah, you double tapped. Yeah, so we, because it's COVID, we want to do it outside. I mean, I'm vaccinated, and a lot of people are, but we still wanted to be safe, and cautious. So we did it outside at this big brewery that's near a walking trail. And, some 300 people came out to see me say, I'm about to do this, run for mayor. They were celebrating. They were grabbing my T-shirts, grabbing my yard signs. All these things were like, I mean, I had just declared just days before. So I had to quickly get all these flyers and these materials ready to be able to say, I'm running, and here's some information about me on paper. Take that to your friends. And folks were just grabbing this stuff. The enthusiasm and hype around it and excitement was just wonderful. It felt good to know that I at least got 300 votes.
You do have a strong initial support, which I know is going to grow.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, when I first read that Madam Mayor Lance Bottoms decided not to seek re-election, I personally was shocked and surprised. So I'm curious, what were your thoughts when you heard that news? And then I know you wanted to be mayor since 16, but you probably didn't think that it would happen in this order.
Yeah, I was thinking 4 years out. I was thinking she was going to run for re-election, and most times most mayors have always won re-election if they went after it. She had just had a big fundraiser here virtually by Biden. Joe Biden did a fundraiser for the mayor maybe a month before she announced that she wasn't going to seek re-election. And I think she got close to $500,000 in one night. From across the nation. People were giving donations out on this Zoom call of some sorts. And it was like, hey, who's going to be able to beat this mayor with a war chest that she could just start off the gate one day, get $500,000, and has the blessings of President Biden, which means that if times got tough, she could come back and get another $500,000 in another, few hours on the virtual call from her office or house. So, the rest of us got to go out here and ask people for $500 or $1,000, and you got to do that times, 1,000 people to get what you're trying to get. She had one guy named Britt that could do that for her, and one team. So anyway, I was pretty, surprised when, the night before murmuring started, when she sent out this thing, says press conference 10 a.m. tomorrow. And her team members started leaking that she had an emergency meeting of her cabinet that night at 8:30, and some other members of her finance committee. And they were saying, yeah, we got called in for a meeting. We don't know what it's about. But, we automatically, about 5 o'clock, when that news had hit that night, we were like, this is either real bad or real good. But the amount of people saying it must be bad that she's not going to run again. So then surely that night we knew she wasn't going to run. That morning is going to be an announcement. So right then and there, I said, I'm going to run.
And here we are. Because when I watched that video, even though I'm a resident of South Florida and Miami, I even got teary-eyed. I think that they put on a phenomenal, it was very emotional. I feel this connection to my soror all the way from Florida. But we're excited about the future.
Yes.
And so, all right, Andre, I want to talk about your platform and what vision you see for your city. The race is, I think, pretty crowded. Maybe even more people have joined. How many people are in the race right now?
So it's 4 of us total, me plus 3, and there's the potential that 1 or 2 others might get in.
Okay, because I was thinking 6, so it's only 4 that have formally filed.
Right, only 4 have formally filed.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's good.
I think there may be more.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe more coming.
Right. So what's the vision that you have for Atlanta and the legacy that you would like to leave should you be elected?
Yeah, so right
You're
now,
elected, my bad.
once I'm elected, yeah, as mayor. So as mayor, my dream is to have an Atlanta that is well run and that works for everybody. We definitely are like many cities. We have a tale of two cities. Some people are thriving and others are just living to survive, paycheck to paycheck or no paycheck at all. So there's a lot of economic boom coming into Atlanta. We're doing a fantastic job of attracting technology companies and new businesses, but there's still too many people that are left behind. So I want to make sure that we operate as a city at the top, highest efficiency and effectiveness that we can, so that everyone has a great quality of life, like cleaner streets, safer streets, more activities for people to do, but also that quality of life should not just be for those who are, prospering financially. We need to have pathways to prosperity for even those individuals that are, somewhat left behind right now economically. So things that I've done in my private life as well as city council has led to people having better jobs, have given people careers and hope that they've never seen before. Once I'm mayor, I'll be able to do that across even more people with a multiplier effect of the bully pulpit of mayor and the platform that I'll be given. I think you'll see an Atlanta that's more innovative. I'm in technology. I talk to technology leaders all day, each day. I know what they're looking for. And I know I've talked to them about jobs and actually train people to go from survival to success in 4 or 5 months of training on IT platforms. And so that's what I want to see done across Atlanta, training people to have a more capable workforce so that people in the city can work and have great jobs and be able to take care of their families and not need government assistance or support of any kind because they're on the pathway just like everybody else. So a city that's a model city, one that's just, everybody can look at and say, wow, we want to be like Atlanta.
Okay, right. I was just having a Zoom yesterday where I asked about bridging the wealth gap, like you touched upon. There's a huge, I think the gap is spreading between the haves and the have-nots. So despite everything else, it's all about sustainable economic development. So that seems to be a large part of your platform. I also know that you serve, I'm not sure if it's the chairman or just a member, one of your committee assignments is transportation.
Yes.
People always complain about the traffic in Atlanta. I was just up there 2 months ago, the maid of honor and one of my good friends' weddings. It was bad, but not too crazy. But can you talk about what your plans are for transit and transportation?
Yeah, so Atlanta, definitely. I mean, if you ever hear anybody talk about Atlanta for decades now, transportation, our traffic has been some of the, worst parts about our city is that we sit in traffic on our highways. Part of the problem with that is, Atlanta is only 500,000 people. It's about 10% of the land mass of the whole region. So each day, 1 million plus people are coming into our city on our highways. They're coming in from the suburbs and they just clog up the streets. They clog up the highways because they don't take rapid transit. They don't take our bus systems. They don't carpool. There's one person sitting in a car, driving into work, taking an hour to get there. And so those of us that live in the city, I tend to take the streets. I don't take the highway that much because, a lot of people in the suburbs are clogging up the highway. And so I became the chairman of the transportation committee. And the thing that I created, which we did not have in the city of Atlanta, which is odd, is we did not have a department of transportation.
I read that, Andre, and I thought it was a typo.
All these years of having a city, we did not have a department of transportation. There was nobody fundamentally and uniformly and formally, professionally trained or installed to be the head of our department of transportation because we didn't have one. So I created the Department of Transportation. We got a new commissioner of transportation, and he's been on the job for a year, and the department has been stood up for about 1.5 years. So what's happening now is better coordination of what happens in our roads, from streets, sidewalks to our everything to our public transit. Those things are now coordinated. Once upon a time, I talked to a Federal Transit Authority person about, needs that we have in Atlanta. And he said, one thing that is we up in DC are always upset when we get applications from Atlanta. We'll get 3 applications. We'll get an application from your Department of Public Works saying, this is the most important transportation project in Atlanta. Then you get one from our planning department that says, this is the most important project in Atlanta. And then you get one from your MARTA that says, this is the most important project. And so they're all sitting there saying, well, who's on first? Who really is the most important project in Atlanta? And citizens feel that pain as well. When you got a problem, who do you call? Well, I coordinated that to say, now we have one head and they're setting the agenda, and then they clean the streets, pave the streets, repair the signals, plan out, transit patterns and transportation nodes. And so we're going to be better for it. And of course, we still got potholes, but we filled 28,000 potholes. Think about this. We filled 28,000 potholes in 4 years. I mean, that could be, yay, we got it done, but it also means that's how bad our roads were. Have to have 28,000 potholes filled. So that kind of situation is not lost on me, that we need to do better, but it's also not lost on me that we did a whole lot of work in a short amount of time since I've been, transportation chairman.
Okay, well, I think that's awesome. Transportation, transit, in order to be a world-class city, that has to be coordinated on the same page. So now, like you said, you're about 1.5 years in with your director. And speaking of T's, your background is in technology. You went to Georgia Tech, extremely intelligent. You have all these entrepreneurial ventures. I know non-for-profit is one silo, but I want to talk tech space. Actually, here in Miami, I know it's like mixed opinions. We're trying to be Silicon Valley of the South, but tech is clearly really big too in Atlanta. So can you speak to your experience on the private side and how you've been able to marry that and leverage it in your public position?
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what's happening in Miami. You guys are doing a lot recently, particularly your mayor and others are being very receptive to the technology community. And you just had maybe about a month ago this seminar and conference on cryptocurrency and some other new cybersecurity and new high-tech things. So I applaud y'all for that. You guys, are battling us for Silicon Valley of the South. We're the Silicon Valley of the South right now. Atlanta is, but Miami is special and could give us a run for our money. But we really think that Silicon Valley is the Atlanta of the West. So we're
all right.
So, we toot our own horn when we need to. Atlanta has the most Fortune 500s, and we're number 3 for Fortune 500s in the United States. But a lot of people wouldn't, probably identify us as that way. But we have a lot of Fortune 500 companies here, and then we have a lot of the technical hubs for those companies. So AT&T's technology hub or Airbnb's technology hub, et cetera. So they bring their resources to bear here. I am, a chemical engineer. So yeah, I do have a little bit of, technology in my background, but I also am the chief development officer for a company called TechBridge. And so TechBridge, I work daily with other tech leaders. And so, I know the deal flow, the understanding of where we're trying to go as a community in technology, and how prosperous we are when we have a booming tech ecosystem, and also venture capital and angel investors and things of that nature. I know a few of those and are attracting more to come from California or from Houston, for Dallas and Austin to come to Atlanta to shop for businesses that they want to invest in and see them grow. And so for me, I see it all happening, and all I want to do is make sure that we have an opportunity for other members of the community to participate and to prosper and benefit from the technology, the technology career fields, the technology equity positions that are out there, and investments that they can make. I don't want a lot of people getting this opportunity and a lot of people not having this opportunity. I want it to be balanced.
Okay, so trying to level that playing field, which is a challenge that's not going to be solved overnight, but
Right.
okay. And so the election is what day, Andre?
November 2nd. So just
November.
5 months. So just 5 months away. Today is June 3rd. So we're one day short of 5 months away. So, anybody that's listening, vote for me. You can go to andre4atlanta.com or Andre for Atlanta on all social media platforms.
Awesome. And that has the link for your fundraising. I do a lot of fundraising for politicians. So I know when you mention your signs and your shirts and other stuff, people don't realize how expensive this takes money to run.
Right.
And you can go out. Voting clearly is important. I vote all the time, but you have to write that check, the maximum, the $1,000.
Right. Please, everybody that's listening, donate to my campaign. It takes money to win a campaign. It takes money to become the mayor. You have to be able to advertise yourself to the community via TV, radio. You got to buy shirts. You got to have literature that comes in the mail. You got to call people on the phone. I have a significant number of volunteers signed up already in the first 2 weeks. We're just blowing it out of the water with community canvassing and going out to the various hot spots where people are each day. And they're like loving to be able to talk directly to me or to get a flyer. But all that stuff takes money. You gotta,
Yeah.
I need your donations. $1,000, $500, $250, please, $100, whatever you can give. We are connected. I see Miami people coming up to Atlanta all the time. Atlanta folks, we go down to, I say,
I see them. I know this is a controversial subject, the bonnet conversation. Now, because, this is not all, but I was in the airport. I'm noticing where are these people coming from? Which gate is this? So it's a win. You're right. It's a reciprocal welcoming. We welcome everyone from Atlanta.
Right.
And welcomes us with open arms. Andre is just trying to say, if you want to contribute to the betterment and advancement of his city,
right,
and aliens, vice versa, then you should help support the campaign. And
yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a man, so I'm staying out of this bonnet conversation.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I have an opinion.
Because my opinion, I'm not shy. I think it's ridiculous. I've been thinking this come on.
Right. We have to present ourselves for any opportunity. I was thinking about this one day, and it's going to get me in trouble. So
no.
So someone flies into town. They're wearing a bonnet, some house shoes, and some slippers and pajama pants, and all they're thinking about is, when I get to Atlanta, I'm going to go to my hotel or Airbnb, and then tonight we're going to have a fun time kicking it. So I'm going to get dolled up and pretty and go out there and meet people right, that I'm interested in, making a love connection or interested in making a business connection. But I'm going to deal with that once I get all dolled up. But the truth of the matter is, when you're in an airport or airplane, you could meet somebody right there standing in line with you at the gate, standing in line with you to get food, going to and fro. When you're walking up and down the corridors of an airport, some handsome gentleman or beautiful woman will say, "Hey, you, how you doing? I want to talk to you." Or somebody will say, "I want to do business with you," based on how you present yourself. So you just took several hours and opportunities off the table when you walk through the grocery store, through the mall, through the airport, without your best presentation. That's the way I'm going to cast my conversation in that regard.
Thank you. And I agree. And even because you're right, the probability of meeting someone at the club or lounge or wherever you're going to is lower than when you're in an airport. And for me, even if it wasn't about a love connection or a business opportunity, I feel better when I look better. And I just can't, bonnet's great, but when you hit the door, take that off. Especially with the spider eyelash. Like, what's the point? Like, you have the lashes done to the nines, but then the bonnet, I don't get it. Anyway,
Stop talking about my people in Atlanta.
I mean, they're in Miami too. I love all of our people in both cities.
Yeah, yeah, Atlanta and Miami. They're everywhere now.
I am unashamedly think let's just anti-bondage. But anywho, all right, last portion. This is called the fire round. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions and you have to spit out the first thing that comes to mind.
All right, let me shake it off and get my mind right.
Okay. What was the last thing that you ordered on Amazon?
A doggy gate.
What type of dog do you have?
Oh man, I'm about to lose votes. I got a little chihuahua. And I needed a gate so she doesn't go in this area or that area. So I ordered one of those gates to keep her from going down the hall.
Now, is this your dog or your daughter's dog?
Well, so this is once upon a time I was married for 17 plus years, and our dog gets joint custody. So my daughter and my dog, they go back and forth every week, but they tend to just leave the dog with me because she just enjoys my house. So anyway, yeah, the dog is a shared, co-parenting situation.
She's a part of the family at this point.
Yeah, she's definitely part of the family. She's got part of the family personality. She knows what's going on. She's like, he just put on his shoes. That means we're about to go take a walk.
Oh.
It's naturally intuitive. She's like, oh, he's walking over to the kitchen. He's about to, give me a treat.
Okay. All right, Chihuahua. Good for you. I see a piano in the background. Do you play?
Yeah, so I bought this 1956 home, and started renovating it. And the woman that sold me the house, this older lady, she community leader, stalwart. She had this piano, and she moved back in with her daughter just because she got too old to keep up this house. Mm-hmm. I bought the house from her, and she didn't want to take the piano with her. It was too much work to move it, so I got a house with a piano. So I started virtual lessons because I bought the house like basically right before COVID, and I started doing renovations. And so I've been taking virtual piano lessons. Now I stopped as of the last 3 weeks because I just can't keep up with it and run a campaign. But yeah, it's a baby grand. It's an older piano. It works well. And I'm real big on Black businesses. So I found a Black piano tuner, a Black piano trainer, and all my repairs was African-American plumber, electrician, painter, carpenter, landscapers, realtor, loan officer, insurance officer. This is in a historic Black-owned community that came about during redlining when Black folks couldn't buy anywhere else. So this home was built by a Black engineer and architect. And so I just kept the tradition going. I
love the backstory. So Councilman is walking the walk, not just talking the talk in terms of Black economic investment and reinvestment. So,
absolutely.
Okay, if you had a 100% chance of succeeding, besides being elected mayor, what would you attempt to do?
What would I attempt to do if I had a 100% chance of succeeding? I'd be a pilot.
Nice. So a commercial pilot, what type?
I just, a pilot with a plane. So that's my 100%, my own private plane. So I'm going to be selfish with my answer. I'm going to not just pick who I'm going to be, but I'm a who with what. I like it. I'm a pilot with a private plane that has unlimited gas.
Oh, I'm there. I invited myself.
You come with me. Come on. Okay. We're going to have a good time.
I am there. Okay. And lastly, and you answered this, but just again, in case people want to find you online or contribute to your campaign and learn more about you, how can they find you?
Yes, please look me up. I'm at andre4atlanta.com, and then you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Andre4Atlanta. And my name is Andre Dickens, and I'm running for mayor of the city of Atlanta. And when I get this win, I'm coming to Miami to hang out with you guys.
Please come. We welcome you. We'll have a celebratory party in your honor in November.
Florida, here I come.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Councilman Dickens, Andre, the new piano player, I forgot to ask you too, since you visited 28 countries, I think your profile says, or 6 continents too.
Uh-huh.
What's the continent that you haven't gone to?
Antarctica. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
was thinking, but I was like, oh, that's way too cliche, but yeah, that's the one.
Right. Yeah. So I've been to Australia, Africa, you know, of course, South America, North America, Asia, Europe. I've been on all of those continents, and you know, I just love traveling.
It's amazing. So yeah, now since people are vaccinated, the world is opening back up. I'm sure you can also celebrate after Miami. You can fly anywhere from here too.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Thanks so much again for your time. This was an awesome discussion. I wish you the very best. I'll continue to follow your campaign. And yeah, let's keep in touch.
All right. Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.